In this second half, I go into details about the double omegas and how they are found in the poem, and more about the pattern and the solution to the poem. So now we've been wise and we found the blaze. It goes, look quickly down your quest to cease. And we're going, okay, now we got to figure out what we got to do from here. So I took the same philosophy that I did on this one, and I counted the words right here. And if you count all the commas in the words, you come up with 33. So there's that, and that's cease. But there's other tricks here, because we can actually come up with 3 33s, and that's another hint. So the word value of cease is 33, and then if you count from end to cease, which is end to end, that's another 33. So that gets us, look quickly down your quest to cease, and we're at the blaze, and we look down, and this just happens to be south. This is north, east, and west, all right, on our little thing here. Anyway, so we're at the blaze, and we look down, and we come up with the numbers 33. And the way that we've already established that there's a mirror, so we can go over here on this side of the mirror. And let's just draw a line here. It's not a good mirror, but either way there's a mirror there, and we put this here, and now we have mirrored it. And so with 33 and 33 you can get the number 66, and then we'll go from there, but I'm just showing you some of the ways that he comes up with numbers. So right here now we have 33, and we've looked quickly down your quest to cease, and we're at an end, and an end is an omega. So we found the first omega, and in actuality, if you look at this, we have solved 2 of the 33s, one there and one there, and we only have one more 33 to figure out, and we found those 33s in the poem. So the next line says, but tarry scant with marvel gaze. So we're like, this word right here says but, and that means we thought we were done because we're at the end, but we're not done. And it says tarry scant, and that just happens to be 10 words, which is an X. And then with marvel gaze, that just happens to be 10 words. Anyway, these are all coincidences, but that's the way we're working right here. So tarry scant means to me that you're going to stay at the first omega for just a second. And then with a marvel gaze, which is an intense stare, and I'll give you some examples of that. We're going to, with an intense stare, we're going to find the second omega, and it goes, just take the chest and go in peace. So once we found the second omega, then we're going to find the chest and be able to go in peace. So let's look at some of the things that we can do with this line. So if you do but tarry scant with marvel gaze, and we were to do a word value of gaze, it has a word value of 39. So if we were to look at our thing here again, we've already found the blaze with 13, 7, 32, but since we found this blaze, there's other evidences that point to this particular blaze has the number 39. So we're sitting here for tarry scant with marble gaze, and it's given us a hint that we're going to use this as a gun sight to shoot over to somewhere here. Okay, so that's how it goes. And what I'm going to do is show a few things that show what we're shooting for. And one of them is, if we look at this is the 15th line, and it just happens to be that we're 15 as an end number, and that would, if we just use that alone, that would come up with our end omega. So this is another omega. Okay, so Terry Scant with marble gaze hits our last omega. And now I'm going to go to the books and show you some clues that point to this. Another thing is once you figured out that 15 on 15 line, once you get here, you come to understand that this particular spot also has another important number of 3. So just go with that. So another thing is, we have figured out from the poem to get here. And another thing is once we get here, we understand that there is a will involved here. You know, so and there's other things that hint to this in the book. So we have a will here. It also represents red. We got red. Anyway, that's if you get here. Now I'm going to show you after I got here that I back engineered this, but all of these things are hinted to in the book. So we got red and we got a will here that are really important, and we also, once we get here, we get this number, and there's other things, and then when we get here we get shoes. And anyway, so we're shooting there, and Forrest Fenn is always talking about his BB gun, and we'll go over some of this. Okay, in the Thrill of the Chase, if you go to page 36, which is another end number, if you look at my numbering system, you see a picture of me and June playing Billy the Kid. Well, the significance of this particular picture is he's got a gun, and that's your marble gaze. You're shooting across to the other omega, and it's talking about Billy the Kid. And if you look up Billy the Kid, he has a grave marker with 3 people's names on that particular grave marker, and therefore you can come up with the number 3. And the other clue in this picture is the picture is made somewhat round like a wheel, and that's another hint to the end omega. If you turn to page 39, which is the number of the blaze, it shows Skippy and Silver, and it has 3 edges, which is a clue to the number 3, and it also has telephone poles in the picture, which are 66 feet across, and that's another end of 33 and 33. And he has a gun, and you're shooting across, and then it has June, and it has Skippy and Silver, and then June and Silver, and the 3 kids are in that particular picture, and it's in the shape of a wheel again, and that's just some more hints to your marble gaze over to the last omega. So we've already established by the poem that once you come over here and it's 15, you found 15. And then another thing is this is mirrored too, so you can come over here and pretty much put your omega there, and well, it's not a very good mirror, but there's your boom pattern. You got your boom. We can mirror the blaze here, and then you have boom, boom, boom. Okay, but another thing is so this is 15, and this is also 15. So if you go 15 and 15, you get 30. So therefore, 30 is also a mirror. But we already told you that, concluded that 3 is a mirror, because the same thing down here that applies 33 and 33 is a mirror, and you get 22, you know, from, anyway, we haven't gone into what 2 is, but once you get here, you'll know that 2 applies. And then up here, so you have 15 and 15, and that gets you 30. Now, and then if you have 3 and 3, that gets you 33. So I'm just showing you some of the ways that he got his numbers, and it's ingenious that he has all these numbers at each place so that he can give hints throughout the books, and you're not going to see patterns because he's made the patterns big. So it takes a lot of it takes a lot to pick up on these patterns. But everybody's picked up on the pattern of 22 and 33, and you know, and you could say those are mirrors and whatever, but you know, they're common. And in the poem, you know, it ends at 79 and 79, and those are the 2 endings. And anyway, I can go on and on, but I'm going to show you one more thing in Once Upon a While, and then that'll be enough for this video. If you were to go to Once Upon a While, and this is a great one, it's ingenious. It's right before us. Anyway, there's tons of stuff that's just so obvious that it's incredible that it wasn't found before now. And it's incredible that I didn't find it faster. But it doesn't matter. Here we go. If you turn to page 33, and that would be the omega at the bottom from the blaze. It goes, look quickly down, your quest to cease, and that's 33 if you look at my numbers again. And then while you're on that page, in Once Upon a While, there is a BB gun, which also has BB has a word value of 22. So now we're established at the bottom with 22 and 33. And the BB gun is laid across 33 to 32. And 32 just happens to be the number of the blaze. So you, Terry Scant, with marvel gaze across page 32, which is the blaze, and you use that as your sight, and the sight of this BB gun is on page 32, and you shoot across, and you go shoot to the page number 30. And if you look at that, if you look at the top, we just went over there on our pattern that 30 is also the number of the last omega. And we also showed that red is important. So on page 30, the page is red, and it shows an Indian, a brave, so you're brave and in the wood because he's hiding behind wood, and he's Red Rider, and that's showing you the pattern right there. So I hope this sparked some curiosity. Email me or write to me. I'd love to interact and give out some more great and glorious clues to the Forrest Fenn treasure hunt, because it is pretty cool what he did. But we'll go from there. Thanks very much for your time and watching. Please subscribe and like. It'd be awesome if you would. Just do it, or don't. Thanks.